So the other issue now is that of Dangote and then Alhaji Aliko Dangote and then Malam Ahmed Farouk. You know, Dangote held a press conference at his facility, Dangote Group, Dangote Refinery, where he talked about the progress they've made, you know, what the refinery is doing and all of that. And then he now mentioned that they are facing sabotage. He mentioned, talked about sabotage. People are stealing parts of machinery, parts of, mentioned a boiler, one of the biggest in the world. People steal the parts that in his refinery has more security than those that are working. He made all those statements. Then he now narrowed down, laser focus on Farouk Ahmed. So he now narrowed down and made a series of allegations against Malam Farouk Ahmed, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. NMDPRA. He said that Engineer Farouk Ahmed sponsored his children to attend secondary school in Switzerland, and that he spent about $5 million on paying for school fees, tuition, paying for air tickets, and other things, you know. So he made this allegation and he kept, in the course of the press conference, like 50 minutes or so, and he kept going back to it, throughout the press conference, he was focused on calling out Farouk Ahmed.
So of the economy, and I think it is something that when you look at it, I've had actually people making complaint about a regulator who has actually put his children in secondary school, and that secondary school education, which is 6 years, 4 of them cost Nigeria $5 million. I mean, you cannot imagine somebody paying $5 million for educating 5 children. Even my own children, they didn't go to those schools. My children went to Nigerian secondary school. They didn't go outside Nigeria to attend to secondary school. I don't know about your children, Tony, but mine, yes. So, and this is a system that, some of us, because you know what, we're taxpayers. When people are complaining, we also complain, because the issue is that, yes, when I pay tax, I want to see that my money is being put to use, not to be stolen. But today, as we speak, the S, I don't know what is the, that is the authority chief executive, Malam Farouk. Malam Farouk has 4 of his children that he educated in Switzerland at the cost of $5 million for their secondary school education alone, not university. And I know that one of them just finished Harvard. So I want to now see what kind of system are we operating that, people are now busy destroying a country, taking money from the government. Because when you look at his income does not match paying this kind of fees. I think even if it's me paying $5 million for 6 years for my 4 children, the taxman has to look at my taxes, how much I paid. And really, this sort of thing, we're not going to allow it to continue. We'll take it up to the highest authority so that they will look at it. You know, people who have done something wrong must be prosecuted. It must be prosecuted, you know, because there is actually no way where somebody will now come. I mean, today, from where he comes from, Sokoto, people are struggling to pay 100,000 naira for school fees of secondary school. And a lot of children are at home, not going to school because of 100,000 naira. Tony, can you pay this fee?
You know, that Farouk Ahmed, it's is a regulator. You know, you have the upstream, midstream, and downstream. The upstream has to do with crude exploration at the sea, in the offshore, or where they get the oil from. That's upstream. Then you have midstream and downstream, you know, where the oil, the crude is transported, crude and gas are transported to refinery. From refinery, after refining them, they are sent to retail. So after they are refined, then the finished products are carried with tankers or with pipelines to depots, from depots to filling stations or fuel stations. So the midstream and downstream is from where the crude is produced, the transportation of it, where the crude is being brought out, that's upstream. From where it's taken, transported to refinery, that's midstream. Then refinery down to the retail to petrol station, that is downstream, you know. So you have the regulator of midstream and downstream. The head is Malam Farouk Ahmed. Upstream, you have Komolafe. Gbenga Komolafe is the CEO of Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC). Dangote has a refinery. So the refinery falls under midstream and downstream. So the regulator, the person in charge of regulating Dangote refinery is Ahmed Farouk. So, and it so happened that Ahmed Farouk um has not been speaking well of the Dangote refinery from from when the Dangote refinery um from when he started working. He has not really said anything much good about it, you know. There is a tweet by um Genevieve at G capital G small letter VIEV. So Genevieve on X said, Aliko Dangote is not joking. Farouk started the dirty fight since last year. First, released false information on quality of Dangote fuel, where he said that the fuel that's produced by Dangote does not up to the international standard. Then secondly, he openly declared, albeit falsely, that the refinery was not more than 50% complete. Then third, started publishing misleading reports on Dangote daily production of fuel by publishing only quantities supplied or bought by Nigerian marketers instead of total daily production. They mischievously didn't capture exports and storage. Then fourth point, refused to physically visit the refinery to confirm the actual daily production despite multiple invitations. Fifth, continue to lie about Nigerians' daily consumption data because it's not based on any verifiable scientific and auditable data, all designed to keep imports going and patronizing those feeding his pocket. It's pure sabotage of Dangote refinery economy. Aliko Dangote don ready for am. Let's see who wins. So this was at the start. You know. So I've watched some of the interviews, press interviews that was granted by Umar Farouk. He did not really say good things about the refinery. I've not seen where he really came out and say, oh, the refinery is good, they are doing well and all those things. He has always been critical of the Dangote refinery.
Well, just like you rightly asked, there are a lot of concerns about uh, supply of petroleum products nationwide, and the claims by some media houses that we're trying to scuttle Dangote refinery. That is not so. Dangote refinery is still in the pre-commissioning stage. It has not been licensed yet. We haven't licensed them yet. They are still in pre-commissioning. I think they're about 45% completed, completion rather. So we cannot rely heavily on one refinery to feed the nation because the Dangote is requesting that we should suspend or stop all importation of petroleum products, especially AGO and jet kero, and direct all marketers to the refinery. That is not good for the nation in terms of energy security, and that is not good for markets because of monopoly. So in terms of quality, currently the AGO quality in terms of sulfur is the lowest as far as West African requirement of 50 ppm. Dangote refinery, as well as some modular refineries, like Walter Smith refinery, RD refinery, they produce between 650 to 1,200 ppm. So in terms of quality, their quality is much, much inferior to the imported quality.
Thank you very much.
So I think in a way, Dangote feels that this person is against me from the one. Because each time Ahmed Farouk, each time he makes statements that were critical of the Dangote refinery, Dangote has to come out and give his own press statement and reply and try to debunk it. And it happened more than once. You know, the Ahmed Farouk led NMDPRA would release statements and Dangote have to come out and say it's not true. So there has been this back and forth, you know, between them until this time around that it appears that Dangote said enough is enough. Now, Ahmed Farouk was not appointed by Tinubu administration. He was appointed by Buhari in 2021. He has been in charge of that agency since 2021. And when Tinubu came in, Tinubu kept him in power. Even when Mele Kyari, the head of NNPC, was removed, Ahmed Farouk was kept in place. So the belief is that Ahmed Farouk enjoyed the backing of the presidency. That's the belief, that the presidency is backing him, you know. So and on the weight of that support, that he really felt, oh, I have the support of the president, he really went hard on Dangote refinery. Really went hard on them, you know. And it seems that it's possible that Dangote himself has been bringing up the issue to the presidency, trying to tell them, look at what this man is doing. This man is trying to sabotage, trying to spoil my business and all that. It seems he has been bringing it and nothing is really changing, you know. And so this point now, Dangote now feels that, okay, the best thing is for me to come out public. And he came out and he made these allegations. He first brought out he did a press conference and brought the allegation. Then he now did advert, full page advert. Dangote, signed by Aliko Dangote, full page, the whole page of the newspaper. Adverts, where he says allegation. Engineer Farouk Ahmed with his picture Authority Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency (NMDPRA) allegedly spent over $5 million on his four children's foreign secondary school education in Switzerland. So, and this was published in newspapers, it was online. And then Dangote's lawyer went to take a petition to ICPC, right? So it was reported that after submitting a petition to the ICPC against NMDPRA MD Ahmed Farouk, Dangote's lawyer Ogu Onoja SAN speaks to the media and says that they have evidence of Farouk paying over, this one I'm seeing, over $7 million dollars for the education of his four children in different schools in Switzerland. So he had that. Then the ICPC, the Independent and Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC now released a statement on its official handle and says that Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) Tuesday 16 December 2025 media release. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission writes to confirm it received a formal petition today, Tuesday 16 December 2025 from Alhaji Aliko Dangote through his lawyer. The petition is against the CEO of the NMDPRA, Alhaji Farouk Ahmed. The ICPC wishes to state that the petition will be duly investigated. John Oko-Ode, spokesperson for ICPC. So they wrote petition to ICPC. ICPC said we are investigating. So this one now became like an embarrassment to the Tinubu administration, because you have Dangote, owner of one of the largest refinery in the world, the richest black person in the world, coming out to make accusations against the regulator of the midstream and downstream sector and saying, and now publishing newspaper adverts, full-page newspaper adverts saying this is what this person has done. Then they said there was a reply from Ahmed Farouk, which I didn't really see, but what I saw is disclaimer clarification. This was signed by Engineer Ahmed Farouk, a disclaimer clarification. There was a statement that was released, and here is now trying to disclaim it. So it says that my attention has been drawn to a purported response I was said to have made on the recent allegations against my person. I hereby state categorically that the so-called statement did not emanate from me. While I am aware of the wide and spurious allegations made against me and my family and the frenzy it has generated, as a regulator of a sensitive industry, I have opted not to engage in public brickbats. Thankfully, the person behind the allegations has taken it to a formal investigative institution. I believe that will provide an opportunity to dispassionately distill the issues and to clear my name. Engineer Farouk Ahmed, Authority Chief Executive Officer, NMDPRA. So this was a statement. There was a statement that was purported to be from Engineer Farouk. He said it's not from me, and he now made a statement. So while this one was going on now, the president now summoned him to Aso Rock, to the villa. So after a tense meeting with the presidency, the presidency now released a statement from Bayo Onanuga, the spokesperson, one of the spokesperson for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The State House press release. This State House press release was on December 17th. So the statement says, Engineers Farouk Ahmed, Gbenga Komolafe resign. President Tinubu nominates successors to the Senate for approval. So it goes on to say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked the Senate to approve the nominations of two new chief executives for the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC). The request followed the resignation of Engineer Farouk Ahmed of the NMDPRA and Gbenga Komolafe of the NUPRC. Both officials were appointed in 2021 by former President Buhari to lead the two regulatory agencies created by the Petroleum Industrial Act (PIA). To fill these positions, President Tinubu has written to the Senate requesting expedited confirmation of Orishe Meyiwa Omanorishewu Eyesan as CEO of NUPRC and Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed as CEO of NMDPRA. The two nominees are seasoned professionals in the oil and gas industry. Eyesan, a graduate of economics from the University of Benin, spent nearly 33 years with the NNPC and its subsidiaries. She retired as Executive Vice President Upstream from 2023 to 2024 and previously served as Group General Manager, Corporate Planning and Strategy at NNPC from 2019 to 2023. Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed, born in 1957 in Gombe, graduated from Ahmadu Bello University in 1981 with a Bachelor in Chemical Engineering. He was announced today as an independent non-executive director at Seplat Energy. His prior roles include Managing Director of Kaduna Refinery, Refining and Petrochemical Company, and Nigerian Gas Company, as well as chair of the boards of West African Gas Pipeline Company, Nigeria NLG subsidiaries, and NNPC Retail. He also served as Group Executive Director, Chief Operating Officer, Gas and Power Directorate, where he provided strategic leadership for major gas projects and policy framework, including the Gas Master Plan, Gas Network Code, and contributions to the Petroleum Industrial Act (PIA). Engineer Mohammed played a pivotal role in delivering key projects such as the Escravos-Lagos pipeline expansion, the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline, and Nigeria NLG train. So, statement that signed by Bayo Onanuga. So, we see that things just happened so quickly. Press conference by Dangote, accusations thrown at newspaper adverts, petition to ICPC. ICPC said they received it. Ahmed Farouk was summoned to Aso Rock. He was apparently asked to resign. Then the person that himself and Komolafe, they started the same day, both of them were asked to resign. Their replacements were announced and they have been cleared. Their replacements have been cleared by the Senate, and they are now cleared to be sworn in as CEOs of upstream regulatory body and midstream and downstream.